living that life. We just living that life. Parking plots, living that life. We just living that life.
When and how to quit your job. We're gonna get into when to quit your job in this video. Now, of course, the big picture is there's never a perfect time and everyone's situation is different. So ultimately, it comes down to you, your situation, and what makes sense for you. I will go over my personal story in this video and some tips on some things to think about. Obviously, you can ask me questions about your personal situation inside the tribe. It comes down to your personal situation. I think the main elements of that are how sick and tired are you? How badly do you want to leave your job? You know, how sick and tired of you at your current job? And how much money do you have saved up and how much money you're currently making? So all those factors, and there are more factors that go into it, kind of paint the picture of when to quit your job. Of course, a big part of when to quit and the decision to quit is your current position. Is this a position that is easy to come back to? Let's say if you took a hiatus for a year, is this a position you can come back to, either at the same company or similar company? Like if you're in upper management, that may be more difficult to come back to compared to just an entry-level sales position. All these factors are going to weigh into whether you should quit and when you should quit. Of course, we all want to quit our jobs. That's of course the goal of every entrepreneur. And to summarize, I quit my job when I had about 8,000 US saved. So I advise people to shoot for 10,000 or more to have saved before they quit. Obviously, the more money, the better, because your savings is basically buying you time to figure out your full-time online income. And I'm going to get into, should you quit and move abroad before making money online? I'm going to get into my story in this video, and then I'm going to answer that question in the next video. Long story short, I did, but everyone's situation is different, of course. So it's a balance of, are you making side income? Are you not? How much money do you have saved, etc. But I'll go into my story right now. My story is I was super sick and tired. I was very burnt out in my corporate job. I had a sales job. It was door-to-door sales. So that was my summer job during college, and then I did it in-house, so corporate Comcast, for a year and a half after college. I got so burnt out at the corporate thing. I had to go into the office, to the corporate office. I had a cubicle every day for like 3 hours, and then we would hit the field for another like 4 or 5 hours. Got very burnt out at that. Did that for a year and a half. I saved up at the high point 20K in corporate paychecks. I would make like around 1,000 to 2,000 a week. Yeah, and that's how much I saved. Probably I was spending in Bellevue, I don't know how much I was spending, but maybe around 3 to 4K. My rent was like, me and Parker split a $950 apartment, so my rent was only like 500. But of course, you know, cost of living is relatively high living in the States. And so I had 20K saved, and I was using, up until then, just like my family's car, a mix of that and my grandma's old car. So I wanted, like, I had 20K in the bank, and I remember like seeing all these car commercials like, ooh, I could afford that. Ooh, I could afford that BMW lease. Ooh, looking at all the things I could afford with 20K in the bank. And so I was like shopping for cars, like I wanted my own car, you know? I wanted something to show for this paycheck. So I was looking on like Craigslist and used car ads and Auto Trader and trying to buy a car, and eventually I threw down 10K cash for this used BMW 3 Series, this silver one. And looking back, like half of my bank account I blew on a whip just to show that I was like had a corporate job and was making some decent paychecks. Anyway, that was super stupid. Super stupid. And I'll go into how to save money at home in another video. Okay, so real quick, time to recommend a product or service that I use. Here's something that I pay for every month. That's travel insurance. You gotta have travel insurance before you travel anywhere. The company I use is Safety Wing. It's $40 a month if you're under 39 years of age, or look into whatever travel insurance company you gotta get, but you gotta get travel insurance to cover your ass in case you get an infection or losses and damages or an accident or whatever. Don't be like my friend Matt, who had to pay $8,000 in hospital bills because he got an infection. He didn't have the right travel insurance. He actually looked into all the companies and recommended me Safety Wing. He's like, man, you've got to get Safety Wing. They pay out more than any company out there. Get Safety Wing, man. It's the best one. So I've been paying for it for years. Cover my ass before it's grass. The job situation, I was living with Parker in an apartment. He was also very sick and tired. And we were very, very motivated to quit our jobs and move to Thailand and join Johnny and everyone in Chiang Mai and join the dropship lifestyle, the online lifestyle, digital nomad lifestyle. We were very, very motivated. So that was our personal situation, and our jobs were relatively easy to come back to. So I actually left corporate Comcast and went back to independent contractor door knocking, which was more easy to come back to. It paid less, but it was more flexible schedule. I didn't have to go into an office, kind of went out on my own time, and very easy to come back to. So that was my situation, and I'll get into that in the next video about should you be making full-time income online before you quit. Everyone's situation is different. I wasn't making any money online before I quit, but it wasn't that high of a risk comparatively because I could have come back to my door knocking job if things didn't work out. So yeah, that was my situation. I was very, very burnt out. I remember I parked in a neighborhood, you know, as you do when you're an outside salesperson. And I remember I just didn't want to get out of my car. I was just like so burnt out, so down. And I was just like, I can't knock another door. And I was to that situation. So those are the types of questions you should be asking yourself. How long can I stick it out? In general, I recommend, if you have a good paying job, if you have a good corporate job or whatever, stick it out as long as you can. Stack up as much savings as you can. Get past 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. I know a guy in Chiang Mai, he saved up like 70K because he had a sales job, corporate sales job, and he was just crushing it. Came off to Chiang Mai with like 70K. So I recommend going as long as you possibly can until you just are done and you just have to quit. Then you have to quit anyway. So push it to the very end. Stack that cheese, because that's buying you time, that's buying you fluff, that's buying you security, you know, peace of mind that, you know, you're not going to be rushing too much to take your online income or take your side hustle full time. Ideally, of course, you have a side hustle already making $1,000 a month plus, so you can go and live in Chiang Mai or whatever, just off that. But for some people, we want to quit sooner than that, and we want to quit and then figure out the online side hustle as we go. So yeah, that's it, and on to the next video. Yo bros, so this video was from my Digital Nomad beginner's guide. So if you're one of the ones that hits me up, Riley, I want to live that life, this freedom life, be a digital nomad, but I have no idea where to even fucking start, I made this for you. So check the link somewhere around this video. It's over 30 videos just like this, and a long PDF breaking down the whole blueprint, the whole roadmap of basically how I got here, how to be a digital nomad, to accelerate you to get your fucking ass out here. It basically starts with choosing a business model, right? So it breaks down all the most common business models with the resources to get started, plus a bonus section on the mindsets that you should have that helped me get here, plus side hustle hacking tips, plus transitioning from a regular job / life to a location independent life / career. So check the link around here if that's you, and see you guys out here. Peace.